Hey, this is John Smith with Extra Networks. And today, first off, I want to apologize. My new Cisco 3550, in spite of only having 10 ports, is louder than a 6509, I guess. I've new fans ordered, so if you can put up with the background noise. What I want to do is talk a little bit today about how to use WireData to catch malicious DNS lookups. So as you're probably aware if you're in the security field, a lot of your malware sites or a lot of your command and control sites use sort of something called DGA. They kind of a algorithm generated host names. And so what we're going to talk about today is how we can sort of look at those, grab that information off the wire, and dynamically see when a host does a lookup for a malicious DNS name or a potential command and control site. So what I have here is a trigger. And within this trigger, and this is on the, this is a DNS surveillance trigger, and it's on the DNS request side. I'm looking for a host name length of more than 15 characters, and then this is a pretty common match here. You'll have a lowercase letter followed by a number. That this isn't totally inclusive, but it does catch, I would say, 80% of the ones that I've tried. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for these conditions, and if they're met, we're going to send a command or a post to execute a workflow on one of our partners, OctoBlu, owned by Citrix Systems. We're going to send an HTTP post to kick off a workflow from OctoBlu that's going to check and see if the DNS query that it just observed that met these conditions is from a malicious site. So here, that's what we're doing here, and this is a one-time trigger key. I'll probably get rid of this after this video because I don't want people randomly sending stuff to it. But anyway, we're going to send an HTTP post to our partner OctoBlu, and then it's going to perform a lookup. So let's take a look at that workflow. So here on top you see the previous video. This was an IP address checker, and this top workflow actually looks at any sort of external, if you access any sort of external flash content, it's going to check and see if that is from a malicious site. Here's the domain checker, and so when we observe those conditions that make it look like an algorithm-derived hostname, we will kick off this job. There'll be an HTTP GET that will actually look for it will take the host from the JSON object that I send it. It'll take that host name, query virus total to see if it's malicious. It'll compile all of the JSON objects into a single message. And here I'm actually doing a filter, and I apologize for the formatting, but if the reputation is equal to or less than 70, I want an email to be sent to me, so then it will formulate a message and send me an email. So real quickly, I'm just going to do a DNS lookup of a site that I know is a known bad site that has a bad reputation. So imagine this is a user, they're browsing the network and they get redirected, they get to a site that's been infected and now it's been redirected to this site. And so they perform a DNS lookup. And there you'll see the trigger was kicked off. Eventually the HTTP lookup will execute and it will walk through this entire workflow until it sends an email. And so now I should be able to come here and see I've been given actually an email. I meant to do the timer. We'll do that again. Hold on. Well, so we'll go back to that. But anyway, I've gotten an email there within seconds, right, of that, I would say less than 2 seconds, of a potentially risky DNS query. And if you look, it has a reputation of 60. Not a very good reputation, and of course we email you the dossier that virus total has on that. So now you can look at this and decide, okay, we can talk to the user of this host, we can lock it down, maybe they've got malware, but we can basically inspect that system and make sure that they're not infected. Or you can also come in here and issue a block on this particular site as well and block it. So this is a quick way to kind of do a quick DNS lookup. I saw a really cool presentation on YouTube from Black Hat that OpenDNS did, and they were basically running a Hadoop job, doing a batch job that went through and mined all of these malicious DNS names and kind of mapped out command and control sites. It was a really interesting presentation. We're doing this with no agents and no logs, so there's no big batch job. We're doing this all directly right off the wire, and we're basically able to collect this data without a giant terabyte of log files to sort through or a Hadoop backend database. I think all of that's great stuff, but this gives us the agility to monitor these systems at the same speed that they're adjusting, right? So you don't have to wait 24 hours, or you don't have to wait till you have enough of you don't have to wait until you have enough of a data set to go in and query it. We can actually set conditions that we're looking for and grab that information directly off the wire. In fact, if I was going to start this, so I did an NS lookup here, and I'm going to go back to this guy, and that was less than 10 seconds, right? It took me about 5 seconds just to get there. But you can see there, within less than 10 seconds, I'm alerted that someone has done a malicious DNS lookup. Now I'm going to go over to my Linux box, because I don't want to do this on a Windows box. And I apologize that you can't see it, but I'm just going to browse to a known suspicious site, right? So I'm going to just browse to a site that is known to be malicious. So instead of doing an NS lookup on that same box, I'm now actually browsing a site that is known to be malicious from Chrome. And like I said, I wish I could do this in front of you, but that's not, I don't want to do that on my production box. So right now I'm browsing, and there you'll see, so I went to a site that was recommended as a problem site. And if you look here, it has a reputation of 40. So literally, as we were talking, I browsed to this site, and within seconds, not hours, not days, not weeks, not months, within seconds, you're alerted to my system accessing a remote site that has a very bad reputation. All of this is done, again, look mom, no logs. All of this was done without any logs, and it was just done leveraging the power of WireData analytics with our partner OctoBlu, who has some really powerful workflows that can be leveraged. Again, this is the type of agility we need, I think, today. If we're going to battle these command and control sites, as they move their DNS around, this allows us to pivot with them and basically leave the ransomware vendors, these malware vendors, literally nowhere to hide. Again, this is Smitty from ExtraBlu. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great 4th of July. Thanks.